And we're back with another video. What's up, you guys? Tito back with another manga review. So this time I'm going to be reviewing something that I actually went back to reread and found out how much I truly like and love the manga. And that, as you can tell from this title, is Wistoria of Wand and Sword. And it was written by Fujino Omori, and it was illustrated by Toshi Aoi. So this manga, super great, strap in. It's still being published, and it just got an anime adaptation not too long ago, I believe. So that's worth a check out too. But like my other videos, this is just gonna follow a basic premise of the plot, the characters, and my overall thoughts. So just 3 simple things, about 10 minutes or so, like every one of my manga reviews that's been coming out so far. But this one I was especially excited to talk about because I re-picked it up like just yesterday, and I started reading it, and I'm about halfway done with the manga, at least to where it's at. I'm very excited for what's coming up, so be ready for that. And so I'm just gonna get into it. So starting with the plot. So the plot, it basically entails our main character, Will Surfort, wanting to become one of like the top mages, aka also known in the manga as Magia Vander, I believe. And they're like the top mages, they're the strongest, they're revered, they're known just for their outstanding abilities. And he's trying to reach that because he has a childhood friend who had made their way up to being a Magia Vander. And so the whole story is just him persevering through to get up to that status of Magia Vander to join her. Only downside to that is, you'll find out real quickly, he doesn't have actual magic that he can use himself. That comes as a shock because he goes to a school dedicated to help mages and he cannot use magic. So what's the point of him being there? He perseveres anyways to make sure he can make that goal of his of becoming a Magia Vander truly possible. And it's just a nice, awesome story about his dedication and hard work and perseverance to getting to that level of notoriety. And so it's just such a beautiful blend. I love the plot. I just love those underdog stories. I love how they are. It's my bread and butter, okay? I love the guy who starts down here and works his way up. So in that aspect, I love the plot. It's amazing. It just has such a good writing. Shout outs to Fujino. He did an awesome writing with this story, and I love the story. And there's just like great parts written throughout the whole story. There's like so many good parts of like despair into courage and just like hints of love and stuff. It's well written. I really love it. I love the illustrations. Shout out to Aoi. They did a really good job of drawing it. I love the artwork. I love the panels. I love everything. It's really well drawn, really well designed. I love it. It's so good. And it's just, for plot alone, I truly love this story, but that's just my bias because I love the underdog story of like guys down here, like I said, guys down here, and he grinds it out. Love that. That's my bread and butter. Moving on to the next segment, and that is characters. For characters, as I mentioned, our main character, our protagonist, Will Surfort, he is an absolute giga chad, while also having some moments of like humbleness and just overall being a down-to-earth guy who, regardless of all the struggles he goes through, he is just always focused on his goal and his main task. And that is such a powerful thing. Like throughout the whole story, that is his driving forces. He wants so badly to become a Magia Vander, to meet up with his childhood friend. And his character writing is so well done. There's so many things that happen later on that just develop his story even more and more and more, and I love it. It's so good. I'm still trying to catch up, so I'm sure I'm just going to be even more blown out of the water. But yeah, Will Surfort, love his character. And I guess I should, in that aspect, talk about the next character, the childhood friend who he is trying to reach. That is the whole point of the story, and that would be Albus, or Elfiria, I believe. And so she's a Magia Vander, same age as him. They grew up together in an orphanage, and she just loves him so much, but they made a promise that they'd meet at the top of the world, aka Magia Vander. And she just waits for him patiently every day, but also looks over him. And it's tough because at the start, she's just kind of there for most of it. But once you start getting a few chapters in, you can start to see like how much she truly wants him to be there, and how much she's been just waiting and waiting for him to join her in that Magia Vander spot. So her character, super well written, one of the strongest mages in the manga, super powerful. She has some feats later on that are shown, super awesome. At the point in the story that I met, her character isn't developed too much further, but so far from what I've seen, I like her character. She's great. Still just a good driving force for Will, which is my favorite character in this manga. And there's a bunch of supporting characters, which I'm not going to cover, but each and every one of those supporting characters is a tremendous boost to Will and just his character. I love all the supporting characters that he meets along the way, all those friends, all those rivalries that he's got going on with people. It's just a great boost of like character for him, and I'm not going to go into every single one of them because there's quite a bit of them, but every single one of them amazing, well written, such a big boost to Will and his character development. So for characters alone, again, fantastic writing on those characters. I love it. Definitely still a highly recommend. And moving on to my final portion, aka my final thoughts, the overview, and just what I think about it. My overall thoughts, and as I said before, I love this manga. It is one of my favorites. I've read it once before and I was rereading it so I could make this review and just talk about it again, and it was such a moving thing because I was reading it and there was actually some parts that low-key got me like choked up a little bit. I was like, whoa, I don't remember this in the story. Like this got me moving a little bit. So there's some parts that are super awesome, super well written, and I just love it. Like it made me feel emotions that mangas don't generally make me feel. So I loved that. That was such a surreal moment for me. Like I was like, oh man, I have not read something that has made me feel like this in a while. So I love that. That story writing is so good. I love the characters again. So unforgettable. The world building. Now there is some world building to this, not too much, but there is. I like the design of the tower. It's kind of cool and intricate how they start showing you the different levels as you get farther into the manga. But there's a tower in which the Magiavander reside at the very top, and you kind of progress through the tower in a sense to make it up to the position of Magiavander. Now my only complaint with it is there's not much of a design to the outside of the tower, which is fine, I suppose. I wish it was a little more creative, or it maybe had a different kind of spin on it, but it's just kind of a decent, not much to comment on the actual appearance of the tower itself. And then moving on, we have the dungeon aspect of this whole world, which is another big driving force for our characters. The dungeon is pretty well designed. I like some of the locations of the dungeon, some of the areas. The dungeon entities are pretty cool. I like the monsters that show up. They are well drawn, well designed. I like them. Some could use some work as opposed to others, but I'm not here to say nothing negative about it. I think they look great just as they are. And it's just such a fantastic read overall. Like I can't describe it any other way outside of just recommending y'all to read it. I definitely would recommend it. And just the characters, the story, the plot, the designs, the world building, everyone intertwined is awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. If I had to give it a rating, I would give this manga a rating of, again, a 9 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoy this manga. It is so good. But that's just such a big personal opinion because like I love these underdog stories, and there's one I'm going to review after this one, which again, awesome watch, awesome read. It's gonna be great. But overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was awesome. I would definitely recommend it to anybody who is just interested in that kind of underdog. Guy fights with a sword as opposed to using a wand because he has no magic. It's awesome. It's almost like a Black Clover in a sense where you have Asta who can't use magic and everyone else who can. But again, check it out for yourselves. Really good read. I thoroughly loved the manga. It's got the anime adaptation, so go check that out if you want. If you're more of an anime watcher, check that out too. It's just going to be as good, I promise. And that just kind of sums up this video. I really hope y'all check it out. Please do. It's really awesome. I highly recommend it all the time. And without further ado, thank you guys for watching. This video might be short. It might not. We'll see. But as always, I appreciate anyone who stops by to just check out the video. Thank you for leaving comments. If you have left any, that'd be much appreciated. Maybe with more recommendations. Again, I know I've asked for it the past couple of videos. Recommendations would be much appreciated. Otherwise, I'll just keep picking ones from my repertoire that I know that I would love to cover. And without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.